Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, and I am coming at you with your numerology forecast for the one personal year for August. And just so you know, I've been traveling and I've been in different locations here. And today I'm actually have the window open and getting some air. So you may hear some ambient noises. You may hear some birds or people, or God only knows. So just giving you fair warning that it's all kind of live, raw, and unedited. Okay. So with that said, just so you're aware, prepared, we are moving in to your forecast for August. If you are new to numerology and don't know your personal year, I would ask you to please just pause for 1 second. Go to FeliciaBender.com, click on monthly forecast. There is a calculator there where you can calculate your personal year number, or you could take a look down in the description box. There is a very quick, very easy way to calculate your personal year, because these forecasts are based on your personal year, not on your life path number. So those are two entirely different things in numerology. And we want to make sure you're at the right place at the right time, listening to the correct forecast. So with that said, we're blazing right forward, and it is August. It is a 9 personal month for you if you're in a one personal year. So right now it is the month to let go. It really is the month to make room for some new great things, or I would kind of say it like your next great thing, right? And there's no way that there's room for it if there's still all this stuff packed in there and there's no room for it to get in, right? So this is your month to let some stuff out the door, let some stuff exit. So we are closing in on a peak time for you in your one personal year. Next month, September, is a crescendo in your year where the energy of this initiating number one reaches its full richness and intensity. So stay tuned for next month. It's very exciting. We're going to be talking about how it's all coming to this rousing sort of crescendo. So that's for next month. But what's this month? What's going on now? August is prep time, and it's actually a really big month for you in the grand scheme of things. It's time to wrap up, finalize certain situations, or a particular phase in your life. And this most likely won't be what I would call a seamless flow, but you're in your one personal year. You're kind of used to it, right? And yet you're going to need to consider an entirely different route in order to move forward into your bigger, better, expanded existence. And this might come as a surprise. It's one of those funny things. I'll use a silly example. I'm going to be looking for a car soon. And if you've been living on planet Earth, you know that that's been a very volatile situation in terms of price, availability, all the things. And so I was looking at a certain make and model, and I was looking at sky high APR for loans. I was looking at all of these lack of availability. I got in touch with a dealer, and they were like, oh, there's a 4 to 6 month minimum wait list for this. I'm like, holy cow, what is this? And the APR was sky high, like higher than my credit card, basically. Like, how can that happen? And I was a little frustrated and I guess deflated. And then I thought, well, what if I just look and see what the best what the best rates are right now overall, and get it out of my realm of I want this make, this model. And I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, there are things where the APR is way lower, like super duper duper lower, and availability is there, all of that. Where I thought, looking at what I was looking at, that was it. Like, that was the overall, that was what I had to work with. And then when I was able to step back and go, oh, let's cast a net a little bit, farther out. And then I've got all these potentials, all these possibilities. So I'm using that as an example for maybe what's going to be happening for you, maybe what's coming down the pike for you in August. You're going to maybe have to step back, look at something with a little bit or a lot of a different perspective in order to get to the actual answer that you want, or the solution that you want, or the opportunity that you really want. So this month is really time for some definite decisions and turning of the corner, all right, in this very dynamic one personal year. And perhaps you've finally pushed off the ledge. Maybe you are making some surprising choices already that you could never really have envisioned even a month ago, 2 months ago, definitely at the beginning of the year, right after that, after you were kind of getting out of that transitional 9 that you were in last year. So maybe this comes to you as a new job. Maybe that's popped into your viewfinder. Maybe it's time to make that decision. Maybe you give your current employer notice, something like that, some significant mark of a change, an exit point, right? Maybe a new geographical move is sneaking up on you this month, and that change is now on the table for decisions to be made about that. Those are some of the things, just examples of what could possibly be coming in the world, into your world for you. So relationship connectivity is under review in August. It can be a very empowering time to usher in some hard conversations, or just different conversations, or major decisions that are going to come into play that will unfold as the year comes to its conclusion. So this can show up as taking something to the next level. Perhaps it's a let's move in together conversation. Maybe it's a will you marry me, or maybe we're having a baby, getting a puppy, something like that, that can be coming into play for you. That's going to be a closure for one aspect of life and a moving in to a brand new aspect of life beginning September. So be prepared for strong emotional pulls around August 9th or the 15th. It'll be really a great relief to feel forward movement despite maybe some anxiety underneath, right? These things always have their volatile moments. There can be high intensity emotions that might accompany all of these happenings right now, that August is kind of blowing in your direction. So just expect that, and be gentle with yourself and with others in terms of the emotional quotient, because you know how it is, even when it's something that we're ready to let go of, we're still letting go of it. And there's still kind of, not to be too corny, but there's a little grief, right, that can go with that. So allow that to move through right now. At this point in your one personal year journey, you must go a little bit backwards in order to move forward. So that can be the feeling that you have in August. It's like, oh, why is all this stuff coming in? And Venus, Venus is in retrograde, or has been for a bit, and continues to be for, gosh, I don't have that in front of me, but for at least part, if not most, of August. So this can also add the energy and the intensity around this kind of reflective time for you. So it's time to clean up the residue of any and all relationships, situations, and old kind of stuff, right? That old crusty stuff that keeps pulling you back into old belief patterns, maybe patterns of identity or behavior that you only really right now in this new starts, new beginning year, maybe you just don't even resemble that person anymore. And yet you have to really, really slough it off. You may find this a really good time to conclude some business relations or activities, and simply focus on tying up anything on any level that you see fit right now. It's going to come, it's going to be right there. So it's not like you have to go seeking it out. It will find you, and you get to determine how to wrap it up. So don't be surprised if there are matters to work out in your intimate circle. Speaking of Venus in retrograde, probably around August the 18th. Remember, as you expand and evolve, you cannot help but outgrow certain relationships, places, roles that you've decided no longer define you, identify you, and they certainly don't serve you anymore in terms of what you want to grow into and who you are becoming right now. So polarity and opposition are key themes for you this month. Contrast is really at play in August for you. And while it may sound easy to kind of say flippantly, right? Oh, we can't have light without dark, and we can't have good without bad. Yes, that's my point. And yet, my point is also walking through the experience that brings you into dealing with the contrast is an entirely different story, right? So allow yourself to move through it, feel the feelings, and and get out the other side, right? Allow the things to fall away that need to fall away. So I would ask if you could see how to balance and to hold what appears on the surface to be two diametrically opposed ideas or stances or viewpoints. Can we see this in life all the time? How nothing has a consistency, that we can hold two things simultaneously, and they actually aren't oppositional, even though they are. And so that's a really higher level higher level take on what you're experiencing in August. So you're going to be asked to kind of allow these contrasts not only to coexist, but also to feed and nurture each other into a stronger and more complete whole. I hope that makes sense. But it's going to be a very interesting time to simply observe that and play with it and feel into it. So August is a time for endings. It's for conclusions and for opening up space for something entirely new to start in September. But the new is not starting right now. So understand, don't push it. Often we can get impatient or frustrated or feel like we've got to, bring something in that's solid and clarity and all of those things. That's not really what's happening for you this month. Next month, so hang on to that thought. Next month, the new comes in. Now you're making room for it. You are very much at a reinvention point. So call in that one energy, be brave, courage and risk-taking pay off right now. So just remember that this is the last push of your amazing 3-year transition cycle. This last part of 2023, we're going to be talking more and more about how you're going to be wrapping this up and moving into an entirely new energy. But right now, you really got to capitalize on it. You really have to make this, some really solid moves. And yet, in order to make those moves, you've got to allow stuff to get out of the way. Get the stuff out of the way this month for things to come in, fall more into place next month. You are doing it, and you're heading into an apex of your year of new beginnings. All right, so that is your forecast for August. Head over to FeliciaBender.com. We've got plenty of free resources, articles, numerology charts, courses, all things numerology, if you are numerology curious. So I'm looking forward to meeting with you next month to see what September has in store for you.